only had kind of limited second half drives, move the ball. Is it just like I don't know, the message kind of finished now? What was kind of the mindset coming out of the last game?
No, it was. It's more kind of like probably what Blake said. It's a little bit of a mindset. I think for our team, our players, a lot of them are not only learning how to win, they got to learn how to be able to put their foot on the gas when you got somebody down like that. Obviously the big possession where we missed a field goal, it shouldn't even come down to that. We should have put the ball in the end zone, had multiple chances, started the drive with a penalty, a couple of busts, and then ended up having to kick a field goal and missed it. And so having opportunities in the game like that early, like I said, I think that our players, they're not only learning how to win, but they got to learn how to do that. They got to learn how to have a killer mindset, when you get a chance like that. And so it's hard. It's not easy. Winning's not easy, and it's definitely not easy, for a lot of these guys that, they're not used to being in that situation yet. And they got to learn how to do it, and they got to learn how to do it quickly.
Is that something that can be kind of coached into them and instilled, or is that more of a on the fly, like you kind of need to learn in the game, in the moment?
It's one of those deals. In my experience, once you kind of get a taste of it, it's almost like an addiction. Like once you learn how to put somebody away, once you learn how to win, it becomes one of those deals. It happened. I can remember it multiple times. Our first year at North Texas, very similar team coming off a year before in 2015. I think they went 1-11, and it was kind of back and forth. We had a team that they wanted to believe that they could be good. They wanted to believe that they could win games, and it was about the fourth, fifth game of the season where we finally kind of broke through that wall and won a game. And once we did that, it was like it just kind of rolled from there. And so we're still waiting on that moment. Talk to our guys about it all the time. Our guys want to win. There is no doubt about it. They try, they play as hard as anybody I've ever been around, but they got to learn how to finish, and they got to learn how to win games like that. And once they do, like I said, it becomes one of those things, like you get addicted to it, and you believe you're going to win every game that you're in.
Were you pretty proud of how the offense responded after they came back? Y'all did drive down, score, to retake the lead, and then have a chance again.
No, 100%. And that's, it's hard to find positives after a game like that, but those were some big positives for us as a unit. Just looking back at the App State game, I don't know that we had the same belief that we had in the second half versus Liberty. And what I mean by that is, that was something we talked about all week of, like I was talking about a second ago, like, our guys want to win, but they got to believe it too. And I think our guys, they're starting to really, really feel that. I don't know that I could have said that the second half of App, but last week, they go down and score, and I think make it 24-21, and then we go down and score. They go down and score again, and we're right there driving the ball. We're deep in their territory, about 6 minutes left, and then, have an unfortunate turnover, which can't happen, and we got to get it fixed. But there was no doubt or lack of belief in our guys that we were about to go score again right there and take the lead again, and then hopefully defense finish it out. So that was, in my mind, that was a step from the week before. And like I said, this is a process, and I hate it. I wish we could learn after wins, but we're having to learn after a couple losses now. But it's stuff we got to get fixed, and we got to learn how to finish and not have those turnovers and be able to go punch it in and score again.
Your offensive line has seemed to improve each week. They have a very tough test this week against UTSA. Just what are your thoughts on how they've progressed since week one?
They really have. They're playing really well. They're doing a great job in the run game, being on the right spots. They're doing a great job in pass pro. We had a couple of just breakdowns. It happens at times and some empty stuff. But I think they're playing really well. They're keeping Jake upright. And so I've been really pleased, and you're exactly right. They're a unit that they've gotten better and better and better each week. And they got a test this week. UTSA is probably up front in the middle, the biggest guys that we've played, a couple 300-pounders that we got to find ways to move. So they got a big test, and, they practice the right way. Obviously, Coach Maddox makes them practice that way and gets them going in the right direction. But they got a big test this week, no doubt.
As you look at Jake week to week, is there anything in particular you want to see him improve upon to take the next step?
No, he's kind of in the same way. I feel like he's improved every single week. He's making better decisions. I think you're starting to see him kind of play a little more freely. I think that's where some of the scrambles are coming from. You know, he's been able to get through his reads, and if it's not there, tuck it and go run. You know, scored the touchdown on the first drive, the second drive of the game last week. But just continue to do what he's doing. I think he's doing a much better job at just, you know, taking what's there and making the play that the defense gives him. He's still being aggressive, taking shots when they're there. I want him just to stay on that track and continue to progress as he has.
What's the balance of, hey, you got to do whatever you can to score that touchdown, and also, hey, don't go head first, and what do you say to that?
Yeah, that's a hard one. That's a hard one to coach, just because like anybody that's a competitor and in that situation, you want to go score and you're willing to put your body on the line. That's why we play this game. But yeah, I would like him to probably roll a little bit more, not go exactly top of the temple right into the end zone. But no, that's who he is. He's a competitor and he wants to go get it. Do whatever it takes to get in the end zone.
Going off that, how's Caden holding up? And obviously, tough quarterback competition, hasn't gotten a real chance yet.
The ultimate professional. It's. I've been so impressed with Caden. It's one of those deals where it's. I'm not having to go to him every week and be like, hey man, you gotta be ready to play. You gotta stay ready to play. He's doing that on his own. He prepares like the starter every week. He asks questions in the meetings on the field. He's as locked in as any backup quarterback I've been around, and it's hard. It's a hard situation, but Jake's gotten better and better every week, and so is Caden. He's continuing to get better, but he's been awesome. He's been awesome with Jake on the sideline. I can hear when I'm on the phone with Jake, I can hear Caden sitting there talking about what he's seen on the iPads. So he's been not only just continue to be a great leader, he's been a great teammate, not only to Jake but to the other guys on the team.
Anthony and Jake, they've been close to connect on those deep balls. I don't know, have y'all been working on the timing there? What's kind of like the tick off there?
It's just, you never know. It's one thing where he's got to slide over and balls comes up a little short or whatever it may be. But we got to connect on some of those, and that's something that's a point of emphasis for us this week. We're not creating enough explosives, and we got to continue to take shots down the field, but it's time we start connecting on some. And there's some technical things that we can do better at receiver, as far as slowing down and going up and getting the ball when it's a little underthrown. But that's a big deal for us as quarterbacks. We want to give those guys a chance always. We don't ever want to overthrow guys. We don't ever want to throw them out of bounds, because then that's a wasted down for us. We feel like if we can put the ball in play, something good's going to happen. We're either going to catch or get a PI. And that happened a couple times the other night. Chase came back and caught a deep one, took another shot to Yannick. He did a great job kind of slowing down and going up and playing the ball and got a PI. And we got to get more of those, because in our minds, when we get a PI like that, that's 15 yards. And for us, that's another explosive play.
Do you feel like Yannick, even though he's a freshman, he seems like he's ready for more snaps? I know it's hard to get everybody out there.
No, he's got to play more, and he will play more. He does a great job. You would not know that kid's a freshman. He stepped into that App State game there at the end and catches a big ball, and I don't think anybody even knew he was in the game. But he did a great job and made a play. But he's shown and proven, with practice reps and game reps, that he deserves to play more. And so that's something that we got to, continue to get him into the game more. That means you take somebody else off, but that's okay. Guys need to play a little less, so they stay fresh and that they're clean throughout the game as well.
Anything else? Thank you, Coach.